Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new league racing video. This is round 3 of WOR and we are racing around Silverstone, as you can see. Now, first 2 rounds went very well. We finished first and second. First round around Bahrain we managed to win. Second round around Austria we managed to finish second. And as you can see, we're 13 points ahead of Otis Lawrence and 18 points ahead of Lucas Blakely. Now, Lucas is not driving today, Otis is. And we are about to head into our first Q1 run. So I haven't done a lot of practice for this because my main aim is always to practice the most as possible for PSL. And then for WR I still practice, but it's just not as much. So like for this round I've only practiced on the day itself. Nonetheless, in Austria it went very well, and in Bahrain it went very well as well. So it's not an excuse to perform it. I think the others are not practicing as much for WR as well, so that kind of equals it out. And I'm not sure why this is the case actually, but it just happens like that. In PSL there are also more F1 esports drivers, so that might be the case why people are practicing harder for that. Like Barry Berman doesn't do WR, for example, but he does do PSL. So through Megas and back as we go. You can see that wasn't very smooth. Missed the left-hander and then hesitation on the right-hander as I was completely out of sync through that section. So that wasn't very good. And it hasn't been a very good lap in general. I haven't done any Q1 practice, so that might be an issue. Again, as I said, I haven't done much practice in general. But yeah, as you can see that Tomek doing a 125.0, and we're going to come across the line and do a 24.980. And that is fastest for now. However, you can see that Shanika Clay already going to P1, and in the end we ended up in P13 here across the line. And yeah, those were 2 poor laps in general. We ended up P12 here, which is of course more than enough. I didn't actually need to go out for a second run there. And yeah, now on to Q2 against Stowe Corner. I just washed out with Understeer, and I did the same in Q1 with Maggots and Baggets. And I don't know why I was struggling, because it was fine in the practice sessions I was doing. Or not perfect, but it was drivable. So for the last run in Q2 I added on a clicker front wing. And yeah, just to try and get more front end, because I felt like I had way too much understeer. And understeer just always kills my confidence, because you're just limited by what the car can do at that point, you know. A snap of oversteer you can kind of control yourself, but understeer you're just getting washed out wide at the exit, and that's just so annoying. Through that first section, already 700s up, and we are P8 currently, so we definitely have to improve, as they're about to improve like 10 people on this next lap. So we've dropped down to P9, and we are 1/10 up now. Through Brooklyns into Cops Corner we go. Easy flat out Cops Corner in qualifying trim. Race run is a bit harder, of course. Probably a lift with full fuel into Mags and Baggets. Now this is the one where I can gain a lot of time, because this is the one I struggled with the understeer. And through Maggots we go. I took it a little bit safe because I knew I was 110 up, but nonetheless we did improve a little bit. Now if you remember last lap I understeered here. And this time around we do manage to get the apex, and you can see it's instantly a 300 gain. And all I have to do now is just finish a lap at a reasonable pace, and we will be going through. And we actually gained almost a 10 through that final corner, so that wasn't a very good final corner as well. It just needs to turn, chat. If it turns, I'm confident. If it understeers, I just kills my confidence. And as you can see, P1 there, so we do have the pace eventually. I just needed the front end to turn, and we were on top. Now Jake went out there, and he's in P15. I think he had some PC issues, which hindered him a little bit. But our championship rival Otis, right there in P2, he has 3 new sets of tires. So that means he can do 2 new sets of tire runs in Q3, and then still have a new set of tires for the race. So that is not ideal, because we only have 1 new set of tires left, and that is going to be used in Q3, of course, to try and qualify as far up front as possible. Now, rain is predicted for the race, so we might be at a disadvantage here. If the rain does come early and we have to start on the softer compound, I'll probably still have to choose from mediums because, yeah, new tires are just such a big advantage that it's probably not worth going on a used set of softs. But now into Q3 we go, and as you can see there on the screen, I was just discussing stuff with Jake on WhatsApp about what our plan was, and you can see rain coming instantly, so I was very confused, as you can see there. And you can see there are quite dark clouds there, so I decided, you know, I have to go out now, because if we can get a lap in on new softs, that is going to be huge. Now, I went out, asked Jeff.
No rain expected for the time being. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
So, what is it going to be? I'm so confused now.
Conditions look stable at the moment, no rain currently expected. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
So, we went out on a new set of tires and at the box again, and that is our only new set of tires as well, so that is just not ideal. But yeah, I don't know why it said that it was raining, it was just not, was it? And that kind of ruined our banker lap, because now we didn't have time to do a banker lap on a used set of tires, which is not ideal. So we only gotta get one shot at this in Q3, one new set of tires, whereas 5 other drivers in this qualifying session, including our championship rival Otis, all have 2 runs on a new set of tires. So we have to nail this one instantly. We can't invalidate, we cannot make any mistakes. This has to be the one instantly. Front end bites it nicely, back end steps out a little bit on the exit there, but we get it done nicely. DRS open as we head down the straight into Brooklyn's corner. We go at 26.900 there, and that is a good first sector. Not perfect, of course, because we had a little snap on the exit, but we have to keep it clean. We just need to get up there in the top 5 or something, and then we will sort it out later, you know. We cannot be starting down in P10 because that would actually hurt us quite a lot. Into Maggots and Baggots we go. This is where I struggled previously in qualifying. This time out, we do manage to get it nicely. A bit wide there in the left-hander, but we get it done. A little bit of hesitation on the exit there. But as you can see there, we are up on Valentin Bruffer. Otis Lawrence goes to pole position with a 24.332. And we are definitely not going to do that lap time, that's for sure. But can we get it up to P2? Down into final chicane we go, a little bit deep under the brakes, but we attacked it nicely. On the power we go, and it is going to be a 124.465, and it is P4 on the grid. Only 1.100 behind Istvan Pukki, and I was pretty happy with that, to be honest. My PB was a 124.44. Simply it wasn't that fast because, as I said, we didn't practice that much. The focus is more on PSGL, so pretty happy with that. P4 is something we can work with, and yeah, there were people behind us here that had 2 new sets of tires, so honestly I'm happy with that. Into the race we go. Now you can see there, the final 2 slots there are wet, and one is intermediate conditions basically, and the last one is full wet conditions, so wet tires. And that's why I decided to go for the hards, and that way we're gonna try and make it until the rain comes, because looking at that graph, it looks like it's gonna be wet in the final 6 laps. Now anyone who has driven on the F1 game on slicks in wet conditions, you're probably losing at least 10 seconds per lap, so a pit stop distance,
good luck
mate, will be gone in 2 laps. So we need to make sure that we can make it to the rain on a single set of tires without having to make a pit stop, because a pit stop is 28 seconds around here, and you're never making that up, even if you box really early.
I can't see it.
Now, we first have to get cleanly through the first couple of laps. It is gonna be 5 red lights, and away we go for round 3 of WOR, and it is a decent start of the line. Some people mediums as well. We have a little look down the inside of Alfie, but we had to back out of that one. Now Piotr right behind us on the medium, so we have to cover that one off. Down the inside of Alfie we go. It's not an attack that we're going for here, it's a defense. And you can see I run deep into that corner, not to try to go for a move on Alfie, but it's just to defend from the cars behind. And I instantly
Gone completely wide there.
just want to stay behind Alfie because we are on the same strategy here. We're both on the hards, Otis on the softs, and that means he's definitely going for a one-stop. Istvan on the mediums, could possibly make it until the rain, depending on when it comes. And then we got Piotr on the mediums behind, Shanaka on the hards behind as well, so we can possibly work together with him. But for now, I'm not going massively aggressive here, because if the rain does come late, we might have to save some tires. And I just want to keep in mind that we might as well start saving tires early. You know, we might as well just take a chill, not go for any crazy moves, as if it does rain in the final 6 laps, then it's gonna go down. We need to play the smart long game here, because in league races, in the past games as well, if rain is scheduled in the end of the race, then usually it means it will come down, and it means you will have to go to inters, because as I said before, you're easily losing more than 10 seconds in a single lap by driving on slicks in the rain, especially if you're driving on worn slicks. So again, playing the long game here. Jack West, who was right behind us on softs, has gone into an incident, and now the gap behind us is huge. We got Piotr in P5, and then there's a huge gap to Alvaro Caraton, who's on hards as well. So it has turned into a bit of a interesting show back there. I think there was an incident with 4 or 5 cars. Now we moved on to lap 10 here. Jake into P6 because he
rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
When Jack West crashed, I'm not sure what exactly happened, but there was a crash. Jake managed to avoid everything and somehow gain 5 positions just by people going off track, losing front wings, and then he overtook another 2 cars. So he gained 7 positions in no time, and then had to push really hard to get into this DRS, because Alvaro could not get into the DRS. So that meant he was pulling along Jake, and then Jake could go for it, and they basically both managed to get into the DRS. So they worked together well there to manage that. And now onto lap 16 we go. Otis boxed.
To doubt this a little bit.
Yep. I mean, making it is going to be
expect to see some rain
the main
about
issue.
10 to 15 minutes from now. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Oh, they're both boxing.
Rain now. Thank you.
Safety car.
Safety car.
Now, you saw there both Istvan and Alfie boxing.
We think we might see some rain. ETA about 15 minutes. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
The thing is, I've been saying 15 minutes for the past 15 laps, but
Yeah,
I'm afraid it's only going to say 5 minutes.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I boxed with 67, so
Yeah, okay, that makes sense to be honest.
oh yeah, I would have went a lap longer, but I've just seen a gap in the traffic, so yeah.
Now, this is a very difficult situation, of course, because I was confident we were going to make it to the rain, and we've got the tires to make to the rain, because I was saving the whole race. And we are still saving, because
Alvaro might be boxing now as well.
you can see there, Otis 18.5 seconds behind. We can be crawling around for the next 5 laps.
A lot of the guys are on softs. Josh on Piotr on soft.
As long as we make it to the rain, we're going to win the race. Because as I said before, if it rains and you're on slicks, you're going to be losing so much time. As you saw in PSGL Zandvoort as well, everyone who went too early for slicks lost so much time.
So stay on your toes.
And
5 minutes.
Okay, dries seem like the
That's
best
what I was
tyre
still
for
hoping
now.
for. Now,
Okay,
Otis
well.
gained 5 seconds in 3 laps, which is not too crazy. But now we're starting to run out of time. At the end of this lap, there's going to be 5 laps remaining. And
But it doesn't matter,
I reckon you
really,
need
so I'll just go
at
ahead.
least 3 laps of proper wet conditions to catch up. Maybe 2. But we still have tires left. So once there was 5 laps remaining, I had to stick to the strategy because there was no point in box anymore. It was too late to commit to another strategy. Even though I knew that it was gonna be very unlikely for the rain to come in time.
Oh, Rose,
Raining.
It's raining?
Yeah.
Just missed the pits.
Yeah, it is raining now, but as you can see there, we just missed the pits.
Oh, just got a puncture. Watch out for him. Alright, please, tires, hold on for my lap.
I gone for inters straight away.
Yeah. I have a puncture!
You might need to look at a new race strategy
Oh,
after
man.
that. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD.
Why? I still had so much tires left. Such bullshit, man. These random.
Now, you can see it is starting to rain properly here, and we've got a puncture, so all we have to do is make it to the pits and put on a set of intermediates, as we had still basically 13-second gap when we got a puncture. Now, other cars are gonna pass us here, but we just have to make it to the pits. And if it does come down fast,
I only had 10% more than you.
we still have a chance
And I got a puncture.
at good points. Now, I got a puncture really early on, tire wear wise. I was on 78%, whereas I've seen people run into like 95, 98, so it is a bit frustrating that these punctures come at a random point, of course, because, yeah, I feel like the puncture risk should increase massively
We might win this.
when you run out of rubber, not when there's 20 or 30% rubber left.
Side by side, I think so.
So what? I pressed. We're boxing for inters as we got a late pit stop. Not that that half a second is really gonna matter anymore. But yeah, we've got our inters on now, and you can see it's still not raining hard enough, and it is frustrating, of course. Looking back at it, I probably should have gone with Otis, as he's our championship rival, and yeah, we need to finish ahead of him, of course. But with the info we had, it is just hard to make a decision. As the rain, yeah, it seems to be a bit of a guessing game on this game. Whereas in real life, of course, you have a radar and you can see where on track it's gonna hit. But yeah, it's so difficult, of course. It's easy to criticize myself now because you know the result, but looking back, with the info we had, I'm not sure. Like, of course it was the wrong decision, but you always need to criticize with the info you had at the time, and we didn't have any info, because from lap 7 onwards it said it was 15 minutes into rain, which is 10 laps, which means you're gonna have 10 laps of wet weather conditions, but it just wasn't. So yeah, difficult. Weather prediction was on approximate as well instead of precise, which maybe influenced it a little bit, which is also why maybe in Q3 it said it was raining when it was not. So whether it was bugged, it probably was, because it said wet weather in Q3 when it was bone dry. So of course in the future I think I will just box with the rest of the grid, because yeah, I think we had really good race pace, and if the rain did come, I reckon we would have still finished P3, because Alvaro and Ikerbena were the only ones left out at the time. So in the future, I think we can take it a bit more conservative. But then at the same time, if you box for dry tires and it does rain, it seems like a big risk again as well. So I think there's no safe options in these conditions. You either get it right or you get it wrong. And it is a little bit random. So it is what it is. It was still a really fun race, and it was a really hard one to nail nonetheless, and I hope for more wet weather races in the future for sure, because it is so risky and it's so hard to get right, but I do love it for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Not the most exciting race for wheel-to-wheel racing, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. The strategic part of league racing. Make sure to like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.
Yeah, yeah.